What should you do as a lawyer if you represent a client in a divorce who should not have been awarded custody of the children, but was awarded custody due to your skills and abilities? We have a word for those who do such things, who compromise their principles, who devote their talent and effort to an unworthy purpose for personal gain. Prostitute. Many lawyers, more than you likely comfortably believe, come up with all kinds of ways to rationalize and justify it. Everyone deserves a zealous advocate or defense. It's not my place to judge. I was just doing what I was trained and paid to do, etc. But it's all prostitution, pure and simple. I went through a phase when I sincerely believed that being clever was the same as being skilled as an attorney. There's a great line from the movie adaptation of John Grisham's The Rainmaker that goes like this, quote, "Every lawyer, at least once in every case, feels himself crossing a line that he doesn't really mean to cross. It just happens. And if you cross it enough times, it disappears forever. And then you're nothing but another lawyer joke, just another shark in the dirty water." Close quote. Fortunately, I quickly realized the error of my ways and just as quickly corrected them as well, or as well as I could. I'm not perfect, but I aspire as best I can to do what is right and let the consequence follow. What Hugh Nibley had to say about God's law applies equally to earthly law here. The legal aspects are not what counts. The business of lawyers is to get around the law. But you must have it written in your hearts, to keep it with all thine heart and with all thy soul, because you really love the Lord and his law, which begins and ends with the love of God and each other. It must be a natural thing with you, taken for granted, your way of life, as you think and talk about it all the time, so that your children grow up breathing it as naturally as air. Close quote. I have believed in a client and won cases for clients who I have later learned were in the wrong, who were lying, who shouldn't have won. I was just as duped as the court in cases like those. I don't feel guilty or ashamed. I can't. But I do feel used and demoralized. This from Nietzsche says it well. I'm not upset that you lied to me. I'm upset from now on because I can't believe you. And so does this unattributed quotation. One lie is enough to question all truth. Ethical rules prohibit a lawyer from prostituting himself or herself, or at least they're trying to do that. To cite the two most relevant as they appear in the ABA Code of Ethics is Rule 3.1. A lawyer shall not bring or defend a proceeding or assert or controvert an issue therein unless there is a basis in law and fact for doing so that is not frivolous, which includes a good faith argument for an extension, modification, or reversal of existing law. A lawyer for the defendant in a criminal proceeding or the respondent in a proceeding that could result in incarceration may nevertheless so defend the proceeding as to require that every element of the case be established. And there is Rule 3.3, Candor Toward the Tribunal, which I won't quote in its entirety, just this portion. Quote, "A lawyer shall not knowingly, 1. Make a false statement of fact or law to a tribunal, or fail to correct a false statement of material fact or law previously made to the tribunal by the lawyer. 2. Fail to disclose to the tribunal legal authority in the controlling jurisdiction known to the lawyer to be directly adverse to the position of the client and not disclosed by opposing counsel. Or 3. Offer evidence that the lawyer knows to be false. If a lawyer, the lawyer's client, or a witness called by the lawyer has offered material evidence and the lawyer comes to know of its falsity, the lawyer shall take reasonable remedial measures, including, if necessary, disclosure to the tribunal. A lawyer may refuse to offer evidence other than the testimony of a defendant in a criminal matter that the lawyer reasonably believes is false. And B, a lawyer who represents a client in an adjudicative proceeding and who knows that a person intends to engage, is engaging, or has engaged in criminal or fraudulent conduct related to the proceeding shall take reasonable remedial measures, including, if necessary, disclosure to the tribunal." That's the way it's supposed to work. It doesn't work that way with every lawyer.